Hi, my name is Grant Shipman. I'm the co-living guy. I've got some kind of a personal sharing for anybody who is currently doing co-living, who is interested in co-living, or is just co-living curious, right? So this lesson is incredibly important, and you'll see why as we get going. So this is letting go for your bottom line. So letting go for your bottom line, right? So how trust works, because ultimately, right, when we let go of something, right, it's like we're at a personal growth seminar or something, reading a morning devotional, right? When we let go of something, we are choosing to trust, right? It might not be trusting that something, but we're choosing to trust rather than to be freaked out and to act in a freaked out way. So this is how trust works. So how does trust work? How trust works like this. If you want to receive it, you need to give it. If you want to get it, you need to give it, right? So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I treat, so let's flip this directly, and we'll stay here the whole time, into the co-living setup, right? If I switch this into the co-living setup, so I'm a co-living investor, I have a number of co-living rental properties, and I also manage rental properties for others. So if I want to flip this into the co-living setup, right? So my house members, my renters, I'm going to refer to them as house members. If my house members, if I treat them in an untrustworthy way, they will most likely act untrustworthy, right? It's self-fulfilling prophecy. If I treat them in a trustworthy way, right? I'm giving what I want to get. I'm giving trust. I'm going to most likely get trust back from them, right? So if house members are treated untrustworthy, or if they're treated trustworthy, oftentimes they're going to act accordingly. It's a little bit like a magnet, right? A lot of people think a magnet just attracts stuff. But my friend Tom Schwab of Interview Valet, he pointed out to me, Grant, a magnet doesn't just attract something, right? It repels as well, just as strong, right? So if I act in a trustworthy way, if my property management company acts in a trustworthy way, meaning it sets up something that the system that the house members are in is trusting, then it will attract trustworthy renters. It will incite people acting in a trustworthy way. And the opposite is true, right? If our system as co-living property managers is set up to be that the renter is going to act in an untrustworthy way, right? And we'll get into specifics in a moment. Then renters are going to most likely act in an untrustworthy way. And if we tie it into this magnet, if we set up our household management systems, if we set up our property management systems in a trustworthy way, it will attract people who are trustworthy, and it will repel people who are not trustworthy, right? It's this magnet. It's this powerful thing, right? So trust is your bottom line, right? We talked about this. What's your bottom line? Like letting go for your bottom line. So your bottom line is both money, right? It's the expenses, is there property damage because a renter acted untrustworthy, right? Did they not pay rent and they're staying there? But there's also your time, right? As you manage, or some people call it operate, a co-living rental property, as you manage that, how much time does it take when people act untrustworthy, or you assume they're going to act untrustworthy? It takes a lot of management time, and usually that's stressful time. So your bottom line is both time and money, because your time is money, right? Particularly with me, and for those of you who are further along, because you're paying a property management staff for their time, right? So, but when time and money are out of proportion, right? If the expenses are too high, if the management time is too high, that's stressful, right? So your bottom line is not just the money that's in your bank account at the end of the month, right? Your profit. Your bottom line is also your relative stress happiness meter, right? Are you glad that you're a co-living investor or manager? So trust for your bottom line, right? Let go for your bottom line. Now let's get into why, because some of you might be shitting your pants, right? Like, right? But trust me on this. Did you catch that? Trust me on this. I've been doing this since 2020. So this is the 25th year. I've been doing it exclusively in the investment world since 2017. I am in Colorado, Texas, and Florida markets. There's people who are house members that are renters of mine who make quite a bit of money, right? They even own other rental properties. And there's others who previously were homeless, right? So I'm speaking from that experience. So trust killers, what are trust killers? Trust killers or bottom line killers? Well, one, security cameras. If you have security cameras, you're saying, I don't trust what might happen here. That kills it. If you have locks over your thermostats, that is a trust killer, AKA bottom line killer, right? If you don't allow guests, this is a trust killer, a bottom line killer. So those are three big ones. You can fill in others if you want, right? But if you have security cameras, particularly inside your house, but even if they're just outside your house, if you're put on a lock, big padlock over and honestly, what does that help anyway, right? Somebody opens up a window, who cares, right? You're still getting screwed. And then third, if you don't allow guests, overnight guests or just in-person guests, right? These are trust killers, right? And you will incite your renters to act untrustworthy, and you will attract untrustworthy renters. So this is all about letting go. I don't feel like I need to sing a song about letting go, but you don't want me to, right? I can make some shit up. Just ask my 1 and 2 year old, right? My wife. But letting go is such a big deal. Letting go is hard, but not letting go is harder, right? Letting go of trust, because it means things, right? Your property could be damaged, right? You could have theft. You could have all kinds of real consequences. But I will posit to you that if you don't let go, it will be much harder. It will really screw your bottom line. You need to let go for the sake of your bottom line, right? On a personal note here, I don't struggle anymore with letting go in co-living property management, because I know how it affects my bottom line. We have systems set up that are trustworthy, but letting go is still difficult for me, right? It was just, within the last 12 months, I had a property manager who I met with, right? Just I'm here in my office, just a few blocks away. And they went on to take company money, to demand more money. And now an attorney is going after us to get more money. Why? No, they love our company. They've said that. They just are short money. And so they're trying to figure out how to get money, right? Letting go of that. Or, I've been in this industry before co-living was even the term for this industry, right? We launched our course in 2019, and I'm like, oh man, like, why doesn't, people, come to my course or do this or listen and all this stuff. And listen, that's nothing I have actual control of, right? In fact, I don't even want control of it. Sometimes we want to hold on to something that we don't actually want control of anyway, right? Maybe you're thinking of relationships, right? As in life, so in co-living. So what I work on is letting go, because I love the co-living industry. I love the teachers that have risen up, right? I love that pad split has really got some traction. That's really awesome, right? I have good friends like the pad split GM, right? Different people that are propping up strong, like Craig Curlow, right? And man, it's really great. And these people, we're talking and we're helping each other get better and better, right? It doesn't matter how much anybody has experience in this. It's a moving target. We're learning, we're growing together. So letting go, this is a big deal. Let go. Just do it. You can do it. However, let me give you something, is when you let go, because people are like, you might be listening and say, Grant, I get it. I need to let go. But is there something I should do along with that? Yes. Build a system. So we have a complete household system, but have a complete household system that has your renters, makes it easy for them to act trustworthy towards one another, right? within that household and act trustworthy as a whole group towards the property manager and the owner, right? Give them a system that makes it easy for them to trust each other and to act in a trustworthy way, not only towards each other, but as a group towards the owner, right? Have a system that's built on trust. Along with that, though, build in that system some things that mitigate your exposure, your risk exposure, right? So for instance, as property managers, we stop by. So a property manager stops by a house once a month, right? And it's a household check. They fill up toilet paper, they replace the cleaning supplies. It's just a 15-minute stop. They drop off candy. Anybody's pumped to see them. It's great. But that property manager also gets to walk the property, right? In the common areas, just making sure everything's good. Also, we have a WhatsApp thread. So each household has its own WhatsApp thread and they chat back and forth. Well, the property manager's in there, right? So there's also some ways to mitigate risk. Like if there's something that's going on difficult in that house, it's probably happening on the WhatsApp thread and the manager is in that, right? So just to say, let go, give your renters a system to act trustworthy towards themselves and towards you. Give them a system to do that, right? You can build into that system ways to mitigate your risk that don't act distrusting, right, towards renters. If you get treated in an untrustworthy way, like you might be untrustworthy, I bet you are more likely to act untrustworthy, right? But all of us, right, we can let go, right? Anyway, let's do this. The co-living movement is powerful. It's only getting started, right? It's only getting started. It's been going strong since 2003. Let's share ideas. It doesn't matter what stream of co-living you're in, right? But my encouragement is to not do trust killers, right? Have TVs in the living room. Trust your house members with TVs. Have living rooms. Trust your house members with living rooms, right? You don't need security cameras. You're going to have a number of trustworthy renters. If one acts untrustworthy, trustworthy renters are way better than security cameras, right? Don't do trust killers, right? Let's grow in this together. There's my 2 cents. It's an honor to be part of this co-living movement with you guys. Let's unleash the power of co-living.